Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ohio Gripe. This is going to
Hello.
be kind of a special episode. Matt's not here today, but
Well-
he's not gone by any stretch of imagination.
Let's be really clear. Since we're here, it's always special.
It is special. It's more intimate.
It's special in a short bus kind of way.
It is.
Because we're weird.
Because we're window licking good. Anyways,
Not everybody can be window lickers.
that's right. So I just thought of that picture. It showed a fox licking a window, and it says, right now, Firefox experience an error with Windows. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's Firefox. And who uses that anymore?
Me? I
Do you
use
really?
water. I use WaterFox.
I'm not a fan of Firefox anymore. I'm like everybody else. I'm digging Chrome.
Chrome's okay. It's just a little intrusive. I use Chrome on my phones and my computers, I'm sorry, my laptops. But on the studio computer, I still use WaterFox
Interesting.
because I don't like viruses. I mean, I can still get them, but it's
Well,
a little. It's not Google's virus. Anyways, you can see the layout's a little different. We kind of threw this together. You can see the board, and this is kind of how I'm gonna do it. We'll explain in a minute. I'm just gonna not worry about looking at the internet. I'm going to let Matt and Patrick take care of that. I'm going to watch the important stuff. So I'm going to kind of, when it's just Pat and I, I'll be obviously part of the podcast. But when it's Matt and Pat, I'll probably take a little more of a back seat to pay attention to the levels. All of this has a reason I'll explain in a second. But things are going to change a little bit.
Due to some technical difficulties.
There's all kinds of difficulties, not only technical, but just life difficulties.
Yes.
But before we get into that, you and I were talking about Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency.
Sheep. Yeah, I'm a big sheep guy, and I'm making some money right now.
And I know nothing about this, so he's going to educate me too.
Well, Sheeb is what's called a meme coin. It's not necessarily a coin. It actually was a token. It's a meme token. And it was created to be the Dogecoin killer.
Yeah.
So when it came out, they decided they're going to build their own blockchain and all this stuff. And there's a few different parts of Sheeb now. There's Bone. They get their own backing and different ways of doing things. And they came out with their own coin called Shibarium. And when that happened, this stock was supposed to jump, this crypto was supposed to jump really high. So I bought into it probably 5-6 months before that happened. I put a lot of money into it, a couple $100. But so when that happened, it started to grow, and I'm like, sweet. You can see right here where that was in this little thing. But
So August of 23.
yeah, that's when everything, all the hype started, and it was somewhere right around in here.
October of 23.
Yeah, somewhere between August, October. Or I can't remember what the date was when they actually released their coin, whatever it was. It might even have been in December where this little climb is here. But the problem was when they released their actual coin that wasn't a token, which is what I bought into, which was supposed to make the token go up, obviously, because it's going to just build the whole network.
Right.
They had some issues because their computer crashed
Oh, nice.
and locked up and held a lot of money.
Oh, was that money gone?
No,
Okay.
it was still there, but it was locked for a little while, and it just kind of shot the whole thing in the foot. So at that point, I wasn't losing money, so I said, screw it, I'm just going to hold on to it. And I did, and for whatever reason, man, last weekend, this thing went nuts.
Oh.
So last weekend, my $200 I put in was worth, what did we say it was? $1,002.03. And that was from, if we just isolate this, I think if I remember correctly, it was like a 12-hour climb
Nice.
from $214 to $1,000 it went. So now I didn't sell.
Sell.
Yeah. I did not sell because I'm in this for the long haul, because they're saying now that this can easily hit a penny, which would make me a couple $100,000. But they're saying it also, if everything goes right, it could hit $1. Could hit $1.50, $2, which would make me millions of dollars in the next 10, 12 years. So I'm holding on to this thing. But like I say, when things are going up and down like this, kind of what we were discussing, it's a little volatile when things are shooting up and down that quickly. But I'm still hanging on to it, and I'm still up. What did we say, about $600, something like that? So this is really nice. I'm really happy with what I put in here. It wasn't something that I really expected to make a bunch of money on. I literally put this money in here, and I thought I'm going to leave it set for 2 years, and then I'm going to buy a new motorcycle with whatever I make. But it kind of looks like now I'm going to hang on to it for 8 or 10 years and hope I can just live life happily afterwards.
That'd be wonderful. $200 investment, yeah.
To make it, yeah, even if it only gets to where I make, $300,000-400,000, even if it only hits a penny and I make $200,000, how many people can say they took $200 and made 200 grand out of it in
Right.
10, 11, 12 years, whatever?
Is that how long it's supposed to take?
Yeah, they're saying 35 to somewhere between 35 and 2040. It's when it's going to peak, and that highest range is going to be about then. And the thing that's interesting about this that also is one of the reasons it's going up is like there's certain cryptocurrencies like you can use Bitcoin. How about Bitcoin? English is tough. You can use Ethereum to pay bills at certain places. Mm-hmm. You can now use this to pay stuff. You can pay your Apple Pay with this, everything. You can pay your Apple bill. You can use Sheep to pay for it now. So that it was number 14 on the most traded cryptocurrencies. I think it's up to 10.
Now, is there a bunch of different cryptocurrencies out there?
Oh, God, yeah.
So how do you keep track and what do you know and like how do you get started in all that?
Okay, the way I got started into it, I really hate to say it because of the people that like to help me get started here, they'll stop. But I'm a big poker guy. I love to watch poker. I play in poker. It's one of my things. Well, one of the poker programs that I watch,
Strokies.
yeah,
Strokish.
There's a bunch of guys on there. There's probably 6 or 7 of them. They're not always on every week, but sometimes you'll get a couple of them at the same table, and they kind of talk about what they're doing. But you never know that that's what they're talking about unless you understand the crypto lingo. So I started like, what the hell are these people talking about? So I kind of started like watching stuff and looking at stuff and watching some YouTube things and figuring out what things meant. Mm-hmm. So I started like seeing what they're getting into and how they're doing and how they're making their picks and all this kind of thing. And what I basically learned is what they're doing, and it's a lot of fucking research, pardon my French, but you can go to a website and you can see how much brokerages are investing into certain things. And some of them are investing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in certain things. So you see who like the top 10, 15 brokerages are that are investing in crypto. You write all those names down. Then you could go to another website and it will tell you how much these people are investing in certain things. So if you find 3 or 4 of these people that invest heavily into 4 or 5 of these things, or 3 of these people that are in only 2 or 3 of these, but they're heavily invested, they know something that I don't.
Yeah.
So you got to take all that information, all this information, put it together, figure out what crypto it is that they're buying, and then you start going into it and looking into what it is, what it's about, how it's backed, things like that. This one here, like I say, this is just a meme coin that came out. It's going to be just a basic. It runs off the Ethereum blockchain, so it's going to be. This one's going to be good. The other one that I have not bought into yet, and I wish I would have bought into it when I bought this last year, is let's see if I can find it here.
It's fun when we can hear you typing.
Okay, this is it right here. This right here. Last year in August, I could have bought this for $1.50 a share.
Okay.
It's up to $11.44.
Damn. Now what's that called?
This is Render Token.
Render token.
Render. Well, this is Render. It's not Render Token.
Render.
Let's see if we can get to Render. Render Token was the one I wanted. All right. That's got to be it. They might have just changed it from Render Token to Render ERC20, but whatever. But what Render Token is it's sort of a... Let's see, how do I explain it? It's backed by everybody that mines it. So how you mine crypto is different for each crypto. But this one here, how you mine it is if you have a computer that has a large graphics card in it, you get into this thing here where you mine and what they do. So say you make a movie and you need to render it out. So you got to have a lot of, because you do editing, you got to have a lot of CPU power, a lot of to get that to go, and it takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So what this is when you get in this mine it, they use a certain percentage of your card. They use a certain percentage of your card. This guy's card, that guy's card. So now instead of having one computer that has 8, 9, 10 video cards in it, they're using 100,000 of them across the board.
Yeah.
And you get a percentage.
Now, what is it doing?
Rendering people's videos. When you render a video and it uses your computer to do it and it takes forever, it does not take forever with this because they're not using a 2040 Super. They're using 100,000 2040 Supers, and it gets done instead of an hour and a half. It takes.
So, when this program or when this computer or whatever entity it is, when it renders a video, it creates coin? Or were you
Yes.
just using that as an example?
No, that's how you get your. That's how you mine the coin. Whenever your unit is used to help render something, you get paid back in render token coins.
Okay, so what is rendering? Just a random video? Or
Whatever is going
so
on.
if I'm rendering the video for YouTube
Yep.
and I'm tapped into this,
Yes.
then I'm mining as well.
Well, if you're rendering a video, you're using it, so you are going to pay in instead of getting money back because you're not rendering the video. You're rendering your video as being rendered. So that's the
So
service.
you're renting your CPU.
Basically.
GPU, I'm sorry.
Yes, your GPU. Well, and part of your CPU because your GPU ain't going to run if you ain't got no CPU.
Right. So that's why people have designated mining computers.
Well, yeah, for this particular one.
Yeah.
Now, there's other like Bitcoin and stuff. The way you mine it is totally different. And the biggest problem with like Bitcoin and Ethereum, when you mine it, it's the program's pretty simple that mines it, but the problem is it runs hot as frick.
Hell.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it is insane. Like they make these, what do they call them? Like it's a standalone miner.
Yeah, it's a miner computer.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not even a computer. It's just a board, a hard drive, and your GPU, and it's in a box with a big giant fan.
Yeah.
And it's just a standalone unit. That's all it's for, is just to mine. You can't do anything else with it. And they are loud and they make a shit ton of noise, but they mine.
Now, who gets the mined coin?
The person that owns that particular unit.
Yeah, so you're paying electricity, X amount.
Well, and there you go. And there's where the problem lies. Most of these cryptos right now, most of them, if you mine it, you're only going to be making a few cents because you're paying for the electricity, and it pulls a lot of power.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're just using your electricity as a way to invest into crypto. Basically, you're making a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But when the crypto starts climbing and you've mined it down here, that's where you're going to make your money. So you're basically playing your own stock market with crypto.
Okay. So you pick a crypto that, like, say, for example, I like the idea of render because I do render a lot of videos. So you pick one to say, this I can do.
Yeah.
Then you get into it.
Yep. And actually render, you don't have to render to get it. You can buy it outright.
Yeah, I figured that, yeah.
But like I say, this one here I think is going to be huge in the next 15, 20 years. There's a few that are running AI technology. I think some of those will be huge. And the problem with that is there's probably about 12 or even more. There's probably 20 of them that are backed by AI technology, which is great. But which one or two is going to catch on and be the Bitcoin and Ethereum of that world? Like when Bitcoin and Ethereum came out, well, Ethereum was even later, but when Bitcoin came out, I could have bought into Bitcoin for absolutely next to nothing, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
When it was, everybody
Brand new.
Yeah.
And I knew nothing about it.
And I didn't. And
I was one of those guys, I didn't know Bitcoin existed until everyone was talking about it.
right. So I wish I would have bought some. If I had bought $20 worth of it, it'd probably be worth, $300,000-$400,000 at this point. But
Here's a funny story about Bitcoin. Now, I don't know too much about it because I watched it a single night, and I need to watch things over and over to remember it. But I watched this. It was either an episode on like one of those mystery kind of shows, or it was an interview on a TV show. But this guy in America he was mining Bitcoin back when it first started.
right.
And then something happened where he accidentally, like that computer crashed, and he accidentally threw that hard drive in the trash.
Somebody found it.
No. It's even worse. Trash got bagged up, got thrown away, got collected. Then he realized, oh my God. And I guess like in today's, well, let me put that back. When I watched it, when the episode was videotaped, because I don't know if I watched it several years after it came out, but
Right.
when the guy was talking to the cameraman, he said, right now, the Bitcoin on that hard drive is worth $40 million.
Oh, yeah.
So now he's lobbying to get permission to dig up the landfill so he can get
Find
that
it.
hard, and they're turning him down. They
See-
say, you have no idea where the bag's at. He says,
Right.
yes, but I have this 3-acre area. He says, for $40 million, I'll dig up that whole damn thing.
Right.
But they won't let him. And that was, I saw that years ago, and it might have been years old when I saw it. But still, the idea.
Well, see, that's the other thing that the one that I'm in, that's one of the other reasons it's climbing, is the people that run it are going to do what they call coin burns. So right now, let me open this up in a different thing so you can see what I mean here. So when you look at these, there's a certain market cap. Circulation supply is 589.239 trillion tokens. They're talking about doing burns where
They get rid of him.
yeah, they're just gone. They lock them in a wallet, throw the wallet away. So the Bitcoin wouldn't be worth what it is now if that dude wouldn't have lost that $40 million.
Right.
It's not going to change the course
Because
of
he essentially burned X amount.
$40 million. Let it roll for a minute.
Okay,
All right.
sorry, we had a little issue, but we're back now.
Yes.
So what were you talking about?
We were saying the $40 million that was lost from that guy did bring up the value of Bitcoin, but in the grand scheme of things, it didn't do much for Bitcoin because it's so huge.
Okay.
Like here, they're talking about burning a few billion coins at a time and doing several burns. So they're going to lose a lot of coins to make this go up. And this stuff's only worth 0.000033 cents.
Damn.
So $40 million on Bitcoin that's worth $54,000 a coin is nothing.
What is that? It's your tens, hundreds, thousands,
Yeah.
and 2 more positions. What is that? Is that 33 septillionths
Whatever
of
it
of a
is.
penny?
But I bought in at 6059.
All right.
So when I bought in, this was nothing. See, and that's the other thing too. If I would have bought this the day it came out, like when it was an ICO, like there's an IPO for stocks, there's initial coin offerings.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have bought it then, I'd be $14 million to the good. If I'd have bought it when it came out,
Right.
and that's like I say when I was that's how I'm picking my cryptos now. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for what people are investing in that's been out. You're looking for what they're investing in that's coming out next month or in 6 months or whatever. Those are the ones you're looking for, because those ICOs, which sometimes are a pain in the butt to get into, but that's where you're going to make your money. Because if I'd have bought into this when it first started, it was like 10 zeros, 0.15 or some craziness to buy it.
Yeah.
If I'd have put $200 in it, then I'd be to here. I mean, and how much is that, dude? That's, like I said, 14, 15, 16 million dollars. I think they said when I bought in, if you would have bought in when it came out at $100, you'd be $12 million, and I bought $200.
Let me ask you a question. Now, I'm trying to think of what people do when they go from being middle class, normal person making 50, 60 a year, and all of a sudden they do something, and now they're a millionaire. So we're talking winning the lottery, or in this case, you buy into something, you wake up, and this morning, oh my God, if I sell it now, I'll have $16 million. So you do that. Now, when you win the lottery, there's a lot of discussion in my family about if you win, you don't just give your name out, because then all of a sudden people are going to start tripping on your sidewalk.
Absolutely.
So I've heard, I don't play the lotto, so I never really memorized this. Again, we're talking about my memory.
Right.
And I guess you put it in a trust is one of the things you can do.
Well, you could, if you win the lottery, if you're in the state we're in, you can claim it anonymously.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great word. Anonymously. There
Yeah.
you go. English is
So
tough.
my question is, if you do the same here,
Yes.
do you have that same? I mean, they don't give your name out when you.
No, absolutely not. Well,
So it's just by default anonymous.
yeah, because your name's out there in a certain way, because you don't necessarily buy under your name. You can buy through. Where'd it go? Boom. Here we go. Boom. This is my Coinbase account, so you would buy through Coinbase. So whatever your name is on Coinbase, you're not going to put your real name in Coinbase. If anybody does this, please don't do that. You have to put it in your initial so they know who you are, so to pay taxes and stuff when you sell it. But your actual name for Coinbase should not be your real name.
Okay.
It should be
Bupkis Solinsky.
6885553325222, or whatever the hell you want to do.
Right.
Jackass millionaire, or whatever the hell you want to make sure.
That's so funny you said that, because that would be the name I pick.
But yeah, so people are going to know that you made money, but they're not going to be anybody that can look you up unless they're super crazy hacker boys, which I'm sure there are out there. I'm
Yeah.
sure there are ways to find out. But for the most part, if you make money on this, number one, your biggest problem with this is it's just like buying any stock. Like if when that hit $1,000, if I had sold, it would have cost me a crap ton of money in taxes because I didn't hold on to it for a year. It would be a short-term gain.
Oh. So that's another thing I don't know a lot about is the taxes.
If you keep it for a year, it's like 20% or 25% less you pay in taxes. Now there's also people that play the day trade game with crypto. So like there's people that will, like at 708 it was down to this price. Boom. So they'll buy it there. At 315 or 320, when it hit that, they'll sell it and make that money, pay the taxes, but they'll just keep their money in this Coinbase account. And then here at this time, when it went back down to $10 or whatever it is right here, boom, they'll buy again. Then when it goes up to 12, they'll sell it. So they're just making, $400 here, $800 here, $1,000 here. They're just watching this, and there's a thing called the Fujita scale that you can do, and it works with stocks too. If you learn the Fujita scale on one of these tickers, you can kind of predict how it goes, how it rises and falls. Even if it's going to steady climb. Even when this was climbing, if we go back to this 1 month, even as it's climbing, you see it's up and down, up and down, up and down. Because it started here, up and down, up and down, up and down, to where it's at, right? Mm-hmm. They're playing these. This is called the Fujita scale, how these are going up and down. People will play this. They'll buy here, sell here. Buy here, sell here. Or somewhere in them facsimiles. So like there's people that probably bought here and they're going to sell here.
Right, and they'll make like $300 and turn around and then buy more for $300.
Right, but they only bought in for $50.
Right.
And they're up to $300 3 hours later.
Okay.
But they got to pay the taxes on that $300. And some people are buying $300,000-$400,000 at a time and doing that.
Damn.
There's whales out there that probably have, like, one of the other reasons I bought into the one that I'm in, the Sheeb that I'm in, is when people were talking about it, I was looking into it, I'm like, I was kind of on the fence. Well, then there's another website you go to, and it tells you how much in dollars and how much in actual coin is sold in a certain amount of time.
Right.
But then you can go to another website, and it'll tell you how many investors did that. And it was like $800 million, and it was 12 people. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying into that.
Right. Someone's investing some real money.
And please don't blow us up trying to find out what these names of these places are, because I'm not telling you.
I'll be happy if someone blows up anything.
But there's and like I say, the biggest problem is it is a lot of research. And last summer when we were working a lot and I had extra money, I never slept, and that's what I did. You know, me and Toots weren't together yet, you know, and I was just, that's what I did, man. I lay there and I got into this somehow, and for about 4 or 5 months, I got into it. And I haven't done much with it since, because now, you know, her and I are always doing stuff or whatever, and that's fine.
Well, plus, isn't it good to play the waiting game at this point?
Well, especially with this one and the one I invested in. This one here, I guess I wish I would have gotten into it. I should have, but because they're saying by 2035, this one I could have bought it at like $1.75, $1.50, somewhere between there, to me how it was rising and falling that day. They're saying it's going to be worth $40-$45 a coin by 2035, 2040. Something like that. So that's good retirement money for a small investment. So I mean, it's just ways you can make a little bit, but you can lose money too.
Right.
Like it's not there's nothing that's guaranteed. Like right now, like that other one I got is up, you know, $600, dude. It could be down when I got absolutely nothing in tomorrow.
Right. Is this something you would recommend to someone instead of playing the stocks or 401k or something?
Here's the thing I will tell you with crypto. What you can do, and the other thing that helps a lot with crypto, like they're saying it's going to make what's called a bull run, all cryptos. And the reason they're predicting that is because the U.S. dollar is falling. When the U.S. dollar goes down, crypto goes up. When the U.S. dollar is rising, crypto goes down. Because it's just two different ways to invest money.
Yeah.
And the United States is one of the largest communities that invests in crypto. So when the dollar's going down, you're going to want to buy silver, you're going to want to buy gold, you're going to want to buy palladium, you're going to want to buy crypto. And then when the dollar starts rising and coming back, that's when you want to sell it. That's the basic gist of it. Stock market is exactly the opposite. Put your money in crypto when the dollar's down because the stock market's going to be down because it's run off the U.S. dollar. When it starts rolling back up, sell your crypto, buy some actual stocks. ETFs are good. If you're buying ETFs, I think. I mean, there's a few ETFs that are good. Where we work is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you know this or not.
They told me about it. But
Yeah,
I was
15%.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed at the time, and I haven't gotten into it. Now I just went out of that company. So.
Yeah, but still, before you leave, if you buy some,
Yeah.
you still get the discount. Like, it's great, 15% off when you buy it. Dude, you can't beat that. You make 15% right off the rip. Now we're only allowed to do so much a year. Obviously, they're not going to let you buy if you hit the lottery before you leave by 20 million shares.
Right.
Take over the company, but yeah, I mean, I forget what the cap is, but it's not a whole lot. But if you're there for 8-10 years and you buy the max every year, you're gonna make some money.
Yeah.
Because I mean, as much as we hate that place, and I shouldn't say I hate it, but as much as we hate some of the things that happen there, the company does make money.
Yeah, it does.
So.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe how big they are.
It's crazy how much they've grown in the last 15 years.
Almost too scary. It reminds me of Gojo, and I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying Gojo expanded too much, too fast, and now they're in trouble.
And well, Gojo's problem was they
thought COVID would last forever.
Right, they thought it was going to be a 10-year thing, and it was only a couple-year thing. But
however, with that being said, I like Gojo's products.
I don't have a problem with Gojo's products.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like the other thing too that like kind of pissed me off with that whole COVID thing is there was the people that when COVID was coming, I forget where they were at. They bought like all of the hand sanitizer in their town and then tried to resell it, and the government said nope.
Yep.
That's baloney. If that was some company that did that, they'd be like, that's the way the market works.
Here's the funny thing about that. At that time, I was still working for the repo company, and I was getting sanitizer hand over foot. Because I would clean it out the cars, and then we're talking gallon jugs of the shit. We're talking stuff you can buy off of like BJ's and that, and they were just talking about this new virus is going to take over. And my boss at the time said, if you get any sanitizer, keep it. Just put it off to the side. Now, of course, we can't keep it, or they can't keep it until X amount of time has passed. Right. Because they'll only store your property for 30 days. And if you don't come and pick it up, then they throw it away or they give it to Goodwill. So it's kind of up for grabs at that point. I mean, the smaller stuff. The bigger stuff, they get in trouble if they keep, so they make sure they give that to Goodwill. But so I was stockpiling it. And then my wife and I get sick. We thought it was the flu. We were down for like a month. Then I go back to work. And I worked for, I think, 6-7 months, and then everything got shut down.
Yeah.
And I was given sanitizer, like, here's the sanitizer, put it everywhere. Everyone's using it except me. I just didn't give a shit. And I didn't. I wasn't afraid of COVID at any point. Anyways, what was I talking about? So, and then the wife was like, do you have any sanitizer? I'm like, oh, yeah, we got gallons of it. And she goes, bring it home. We can put it on Craigslist and sell it. And I'm like, all right. So I grabbed like 2 gallons worth of individuals. And right at that time, the government said, you can't do that. And I'm like, you I said, we could have made a buck on this, man.
Well, see, the problem with that is, like I said, if that was a company that had done that and stockpiled it and left it set until the virus hit, that would have just been business.
Well, yeah, either that or they would expect that company to give it away because it was
the reason they did that to them people, those guys, was because there's no way for them to know what they sold and get their cut. They don't give a shit. Just like when poker was legal in the United States, you could play poker online, and they cut it out. And it wasn't because they were worried about people playing poker and getting addicted. It's because they couldn't get their cut because all of that shit was offshore. Mm-hmm. They didn't get their tax money. So they're like, screw you, you're out.
Yeah. No, I believe that. I don't have any proof of that, but it's easy to believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And like people will tell you it's because gambling's illegal. No, it's because they couldn't get the money. That
goes by state. Gambling's now legal in Ohio, but I think it's regulated.
Right. Well, see, but like I said, they don't mind that because they can get their money. Yeah. They can get their cut.
Yeah, that's why it's regulated.
Exactly.
That's one thing. The wife and I always used to go to the next state over. We would go to West Virginia to do our little gambling because gambling is fun. Now I don't play poker because I'm not that good at it, and I don't have a good luck. But I love the stupid part, which is slot machines. You just sit there and push buttons, And our goal, my wife and I never got any warped sense about it. We would get $200, and we knew we were going to lose that $200.
Right.
But our goal was to go to the casino. This was back in 2016, maybe 2010 to 2016. And we go to a place called Wheeling Island down there in West Virginia. It's about 2 hours away. And our goal was to simply have a night out. That we wanted that $200 to last a long time. And at that particular casino, now again, it's been years since I've been there, it kind of did. We would be in there for 10 hours.
Right.
Just going from machine to machine. And our goal, well, I know I just said our goal was to be there long term. That's overall goal. Our goal while playing was to win enough to get a free buffet.
Right.
You want to play, and then you want to hit about $60 a person. And then once you got it, okay, let's go eat. And we'd eat off the casino, which is not true. If you take $200 into a building, you're still paying for it. But but we they give you free soda.
Yeah.
And so we would be there for like 9-10 hours. And then of course, how much did you lose? Well, we only lost, $50 out of 200, or we lost 250 because I got pissed and went to the ATM machine.
Yeah, $50, yeah.
Yeah. And one time we went there with it was a slow week, so to speak. We went there with like $100, and the wife hit a jackpot, and we left with like $800. And then we cut that in half because Ohio gets their taxes regardless of where you win.
Yes.
So we cut that in half, and then we used $400, and we bought a hot tub with it. So yeah, and then we did it just a couple weekends ago. We were at Northfield.
Yeah.
Which now that MGM owns it, you actually do win every once in a while. When it was Hard Rock, I don't care what anyone says. No one ever won anything when it was the Hard Rock.
Well, now I don't know about that Hard Rock, but when I was in Vegas at the Hard Rock, which is gone now, but that's where we were at when we did we did the AVNs when I was with the other company. The things that I did, I probably just said something I shouldn't have, but whatever. We won money at Hard Rock all the time.
See, that makes sense because in Vegas, the Hard Rock is one of the smaller casinos.
It's gone now.
Yeah, and they need you to win to bring people in. Otherwise, where are you going to go? You're going to go to
Right.
MGM, or you're going to go to Bellagio.
Yep.
So yeah, that actually makes sense. But here in Ohio, the competition is
There is none.
yeah. So they're going to rake in. Now that's a theory, but I do know that when we went there, we often go to that casino for the concerts.
Oh yeah, the MGM.
A lot of the bands that we like are not as popular as they used to be, or
Right.
they're still up and coming, so they play there, and it's a really nice venue for that. So
It's not very big, but it is very nice.
yes, it is very nice. So I remember, God, I'm having a worse time. We saw Extreme and Living Color. That was the last one we saw there. And who else did we... I'm sorry, I can't remember. I mean, there's a bunch of names popping in my head, but I can't remember who all we saw there. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It might have been Pat Benatar. Maybe we saw Pat Benatar there. Anyways. And we decided to gamble, and we won a few times. Nothing big, but,
Yeah.
And in the last time, well, the time before last, sorry, we actually, I'm going to say this. She's going to kill me, but I'm going to say it. The wife won a jackpot. But
Just when you said she hit the wrong button.
yeah, she misunderstood what the machine was telling her. If she would have accepted it, she said that would have paid for the whole night. That would have paid for the gas. It would have paid for the concert. But she said, no, it was like a deal or no deal thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one that gives you this is how much you could win, or you could pass and see if you can win more.
And she accidentally
She hit the
pass.
wrong button. She misunderstood and hit the wrong button. And it's so funny and then we ended up losing our ass. But I told her on the way home, because at that point it had been years since we went to a building to do nothing but play slot machines. I said, if you think about it, we won tonight. I said, yeah, you made a mistake and we didn't get the cash, but you actually won the jackpot tonight.
Yeah.
And so we decided the very next weekend that we were going to go up there just for a night out. We didn't plan on winning. We just go up there. And, we were in there for 7-8 hours. And we only lost the initial money that we planned on spending.
Yeah.
And basically, that's why we left. We finally lost. Which I think she had $200 budgeted. So when this is gone, we're done. But we were there for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And we won here and there. And we won a free lunch.
So now here's a great story. So there's a guy on YouTube that I watch. He's a big outdoor guy, and he is absolutely huge. He's one of the biggest channels on there.
Oh.
He makes millions and millions of dollars. But anyway, he was at what's called SHOT Show in Vegas the same time we were at AVNs. So the SHOT Show was like the big gun show in Vegas, and it's on the other side of town from where we were at. But anyway, he made a video. He's like, I'm going to show you why when you come to Vegas, you don't gamble. So he gave his crew, all the people, the executives in his company that he has, him and his wife got like $200 a piece. This person and his wife got $200 a piece. This person got $200 a piece. And they're like, all right, everybody can go out and just do whatever they want for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever the hell it was, and then come back and we're going to show why you don't do this, because we're going to lose all this money. Everybody's going to come back broke.
Yeah,
dude, everybody came back and they made like $2,800. He's like, well, I just screwed this video up.
It's funny.
He's like, don't gamble because of the way this happened. This is not how it usually goes.
Yeah. It's funny you mention that, because the last time that Dinah and I went to Vegas, we took my sister-in-law out there, and she didn't win any money, but Dinah hit another small jackpot.
Right.
And ended up spending most of it because we had X amount budgeted for the vacation.
Right.
And she was up. So I'm like, I guess it's Caesar Forum time. Let's go. And she bought like a really expensive purse with it.
Yeah.
Which she loves. She coveted that purse. And she has several purses. But
yeah.
The point is that, yeah, I mean, some people get lucky, and in Vegas, I never got lucky. I just lose my shit right away. No. Anyways, sorry about that. Again, we are definitely having computer issues, which is one of the reasons we're going to talk about that
in a minute.
In a minute. But we were just talking about, you were talking about gambling. And,
yeah. Let's see, last time we were in Vegas, I was playing the slots, and I was with a girl, and she said, this is the machine I always win on. I'm like, okay, whatever. So she was in the room, and I was out playing, and I was probably down, I don't know, $100 or something for the weekend, or the week, excuse me. And dude, and I hit on that thing, dude, and I ended up making like $700-800.
Nice.
So I was like, all right,
nice. Cool. To see the regular people like us, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice though, because it paid.
Yeah.
It paid for. I mean, I didn't necessarily wasn't spending a bunch of money that weekend. I mean, it cost us money to get out there, and we were there. We weren't supposed to even be there, but
right.
One of the products that we had made for another company, got damaged in shipping, and they're like, we really need this to work. We're like, okay, fine. So we all went out. Well, not all of us, but yeah. So that's the only reason we went out, and they got us into the show for free. I mean, we were there. Like, I mean, what they bought for us to be there and go to the shows and the VIPs and everything that we did, it probably would have cost us $1,500 a piece. And they were like, "Here you go."
Nice.
And that was all just because we came out and fixed their display on them for what they had in the show. Kind of crazy.
That's one of the reasons we went as often as we did. Is back then, the Wheeling Island had really good promotions.
Yeah.
We'll give you $100 free play. So we're like, it don't cost $100 to drive out there.
Nope.
So we drive out there and we'd blow through their 100.
Right.
I swear to God, the machines knew
when it was their money.
This is your money. We'll give you a fair chance. This is our money. But I don't know. But I know that we still were there for hours on hours every time. And yeah, we lost money. But the way I see it, nowadays, just you could almost lose the same amount of money just going to a movie.
Out. Right. It's nuts. It's ridiculous.
So at least this way I get free soda, and if you get lucky, you can get a free dinner or a free, lunch. And that's all I expect. If I hit a big lot or a big jackpot or something, and I don't play cards just because I'm not that good. I don't bet on horses or dogs.
I'm not really into the dogs and the horses or anything either, but...
Because once again, like with the hunters, if I'm out there like trying to pick my dog, I'd be the one going, get away from my damn dog, get away from my horse.
Right. See, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've just never got into the animal stuff. But in Northfield, that used to be what they were. They was all those carriage races, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was horse racing, and then Wheeling Island was dog racing.
Yeah. Now, I've been to Wheeling Island a couple times, and we didn't go to the casino. We were there at a couple strip clubs back in the day when I used to work for the strip club.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'd always go around and see what other places were doing and do a little spying, so to speak, see what was going on. That's how I know some of the people that are in that other business.
You know what's funny is I'm listening to you talk, and it dawned on me that I have never been to Mountaineer.
Really?
Yep. Isn't that weird?
Well, Mountaineer...
Because isn't that one closer?
Probably. Mountaineer bought... remember the racetrack that was just across from Yellow Creek on the Ohio River, that little racetrack?
Unfortunately.
They bought that now. Now, that's Mountaineer, too, and they have a little casino in there.
Oh. See, I mean, and I've never been...
It was called Waterford Park.
Yeah. I was at, what's it called, the one in Cleveland? It's called Jack's?
The Jack, yeah.
All right, what was it before that?
I cannot
The Horseshoe?
remember. It might have been the Shoe.
Anyways, we literally walked in, looked at 4 machines, and walked out. I've never been to the casino in Columbus.
I've never been to that one.
So it's just, I mean, I'm almost to the point where maybe I'll make a plan this summer. Maybe we'll just ride to these places and check them out.
The Jack I want to go to because the Jack does what I like. Like when I play poker, I don't play cash games where you can just keep losing, keep digging in your pocket.
Yeah.
I get in a tournament. So you pay your $50, $100, $150 to $200, whatever you get in. Mm-hmm. When you're out, you're out. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't.
Right.
You might be there for 18 seconds. You might be there for 18 fucking hours.
Right. No, that makes sense. You play until you're done. But
Yeah.
whereas if you're just playing in the casino, I'm done right now. But let me go hit the ATM for $100.
See now, and I still do that online a little bit because there's still a couple places you can buy into and play for money. But like that one day when I came to work, you were like, dude, you look like shit. And I'm like, yeah, I got in a poker tournament, dude. I wasn't done till like noon. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I won money when I was up there. And it's like,
I don't know how much.
oh,
That's funny. But anyway,
that's the thing that sucks about when I go home from work and play. You plan on, that should take an hour before nope. But then you're so happy that you didn't sleep that day because you made money.
Right, yeah, well, especially if you make money, it's worth it. You can always get more sleep the next night.
Right.
However, when it comes to Vegas, man, that gambling is the last thing I think of.
Oh, dude, listen.
There is so much to do in that damn town.
Have so much fun, dude. That's where I met Corey. Shout out, Corey. What's up, buddy? So much fun, and I can't believe that I ran into that. Like, I mean, he's like a quasi-famous dude. Like, everybody knows who the hell he is. I mean, his dad owns the freaking pawn shop that's on the freaking History Channel, and he's the nicest freaking guy in the world, dude. I sat there and bullshit with that guy for like 6 hours. We were just drinking, laughing, joking. He's a really good guy, man. It's kind of wild, but
every time, two times that we went out to Vegas, we got to hang out with the cast of Counting Cars.
Yeah.
Because Danny owns that bar.
Yeah.
They're nice guys. I mean, a lot of people want to talk to them, so it's not like we had intimate conversations. But we got to. I got to talk to a couple of them. Mike, definitely Mikey. He's a super great guy, really funny. But anyways,
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Corey, like when
Horny Mike is that's his
nickname, Horny Mike.
Yeah.
Well, Corey, dude, he was in the bar where I was at, and being the girl that I went there with, we were like drinking, talking to these bachelorette party. And the one goes, I think that's that guy from Pawn Stars. And I'm like, that guy there? And I'm like, oh, that does look like him. And I said, and I grabbed my beer. She's like, you're just going to go over there? And I'm like, yeah. So I was like,
why not?
I was like, hey, man, I love the show. He's like, oh, dude, he goes, every time I come out, he's look, man, that's not me. My name's Brian. I'm from Wisconsin. He goes, I hate coming to Vegas because everybody thinks I'm that dude or whatever.
Oh.
I was like, all right, man, no problem, cool. And I just went back and sat back down. Well, then about 10 minutes later, one of the girls that was sitting there, who happened to be one of the producers for the show, she came up and she's like, hey, man, thanks for being cool about that. I'm like, look, dude, if he doesn't want to be bothered, he doesn't want to be bothered. I get it. I said, it's got to suck to be famous like that. And every time you go out, people are hounding you. I said, that would drive me bananas, too. She's like, well, I just want to I'm going to buy you a drink, man. Just, thanks for being cool about it. I'm like, no problem. So she bought me a beer or whatever. I'm sitting there, dude, and about 10 minutes after that, he comes and he sits down. He's like, hey, man. I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, man, thanks for not being a dick. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I get it. And then we ended up sitting there, like I said, for like 4 hours, just drinking, acting like idiots.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. He was a very, very nice guy. But that was right after, not like right after, but pretty close to when they buried his grandpa.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
So there was a few somber moments, but it was still fun. And then it was really crazy. It's so funny is the other people that I was there with, they have a winter home, which is their home now, but at that time it was their winter home down in Florida. Mm-hmm. And the local bar where they go to.
That's really funny. They live in a warm place, but they have a winter home in Florida.
They lived here and they had a winter home.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about the pond guys.
Now they live. Yes. No, these are people I worked with.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That I was there with in general. But anyway, so now they just live down there. But anyway, the local bar where they would go there was the same place where Screech went, because that's where he lived. So they knew from Saved by the Bell, Dustin Diamond.
Oh, yeah. I never watched that show.
So they were really, really good friends with him. He was actually a fucking great guy, too. He was funny as shit. I talked to him and met him once. I mean, he was a super nice guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they knew him. So they were talking with Corey about Screech and, like, some of the stuff. He's like, dude, this one time, that I'd seen him and, this happened. Yeah. But it was just pretty wild. So he knew all that. He knew those people, and that was kind of fucking funny that, somebody knows somebody else that and that somebody's that famous, and, yeah, now you're talking to somebody else about other... Yeah, it was pretty wild. Kind of funny how that all fell in together. And then it was about a year and a half later that Dustin died. But sucks for him, but
yeah,
he was into some crazy shit. Not the rest of us aren't into crazy shit, but
that's one place I have really no interest. I mean, I may go to Florida because I have a lot of family down there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like
I'm just not into the humidity.
I'm not into the bugs.
Yeah, the bugs. I mean, they're like pterodactyl size bugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like when I went to college, I was in Arizona. The freaking cockroaches out there were the size of Volkswagen Beetles.
Yeah. The dragonflies actually breathe fire.
Yeah, it's crazy. See one crawling across the parking lot. You're like, what the hell? Is that a rabbit?
Is
out
that a
there?
Komodo dragon?
No, that's a cockroach. What the hell? When you can hear one hiss from a block away, that's bad.
What is that noise?
And listen, people that have never been there think I'm joking, but the cockroaches are the size of this goddamn phone, and I am not joking. They're huge.
That's like New York.
The rats.
Yeah.
Jeez, they're everywhere. Wow.
Oh, well, anyways.
So anyway,
So,
we can get into the original reason we were here.
So, some of you may have noticed, I hope you noticed, that we haven't put out an episode weekly. We set up to record an episode. Anyways, set up to record an episode with Joe. He was a health coach.
Life coach, yeah.
No, health coach. I kept saying life coach. And we got together with Joe. We recorded the episode, and that episode was so full of gremlins that it kind of threw me over the edge. So what I wanted to talk about, we're going to just this thing is locked up so many times that I don't know how long we've been recording. So we're going 10 minutes pretty straight at the moment, so we'll see how long.
See where we end up, right?
But I mean, anybody who's watched us throughout the time we've started know that we've always been plagued with gremlins. Always. At the very beginning, we had lighting issues, we had computer issues, we had sound issues, we had neighbor issues, and then we had co-host issues, and then we decided to do it here inside the house instead of on my sun porch, because I thought the sun porch would add a nice backdrop, but that backdrop came at a cost.
Because everybody wanted to mow their grass.
Not only that, but the lighting.
That's
I couldn't. I like the lighting we have here is just two of those round lights you buy for like $20.
Yeah.
But when we were out there, I had these two really gigantic LED spotlight things, and it still wasn't enough.
Wow.
So that's why I moved it in here. So, anyways, the point is that I've just been plagued with all these problems. I finally got the co-host things sorted out, and now I'm having all these issues. But the whole thing with that episode is we were using wireless mics, which in the Christmas episode worked flawlessly.
They were great.
And then for some reason that day, they did not work flawlessly.
They did not. It was ugly.
What it was my mic, for some reason, was full blast. It was turned completely up. Every time I spoke, it clipped, it distorted, and everyone else's mic was very low. So what you got was three people talking at a very normal level like we are, and then this other guy who's going, I'm trying to talk, and it was just...
That's almost exactly what it sounded like.
And it was... you almost couldn't understand what I was saying. It clipped, and I ended up liking the episode enough that I was going to try to fix it, and then Joe and I started talking, and he's like, no, let's just re-record it. So I stopped working on it, and then he couldn't show up that day, and I'm like, you know what, he's too busy, let's just fix this. So I spent 2 weeks.
At least 2 weeks.
In a DAW. I used Audacity, so there you go. So I didn't have any fancy plugins. So what I did was I just expanded the spectrum out, and I literally turned up and turned down the volume on every single word that was said throughout the hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I tried to distort my voice, which I kind of did. I was able to get a free plugin that kind of worked on that a bit. And I turned up. Yours was super quiet, so I had to turn yours way up and then turn Joe down a little bit and turn Matt only spoke, I think, 3 times.
But yeah.
But it was just a nightmare because there was background noises that would like you would be sitting here and, you'd hear Joe talking, and all of a sudden you would say something and you'd hear this background noises because I had to turn it up. When I got finished, I listened to it and I said, you know what, it's good enough. We can make this work.
Right.
So then during that podcast, the camera locked up like it did today.
Twice today.
No, it did, yeah. But then it did it once, but it did it for 10 minutes before we caught it. Ugh. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I then took the video into the editing program, and I just brought up some pictures. We had Joe pose. He took one of our custom Oreos. They had
Oh,
our
yeah,
logo
yeah.
on it. So I took that picture, and I do everything kind of old school because I don't want to spend money. So when I go to isolate a photograph, meaning a person, I literally put it in MS Paint. And then I
Yeah.
take the green and I go around, and it takes hours, but I do this because it's free. You know, I don't mind doing the work. I mind spending money. So it took me hours to do 2 photos of Joe standing in my living room, and I, greened out everything but him.
Yeah.
And then I put it in the program, and I was able to remove the background and put, stuff in it. And I did all this work. Like I said, 2 weeks worth of work. And then come the day I was going to upload it. And of course, for some reason, it takes 4.5 hours to upload an hour
we were
video to
talking about
YouTube.
the rendering, yes.
No, that's not rendering. That's uploaded to YouTube.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
It only took, I think, 4 hours to, not even that. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I don't care rendering because I set it up to do it overnight.
yeah, when you're in bed.
Yeah, and I can the computer will turn itself off. So rendering doesn't bother me. But uploading it to YouTube,
Yeah.
I don't know why it takes 6 hours to upload an hour-long video to YouTube.
Well, see, and the other thing that we found out, too, is if we wanted to release something at noon, you had to set it to release
I had to upload it I usually did it the
Yeah.
night before.
Yeah, but if you set it for noon, we had to set it for 10, then it would come out at noon. Or was it 2 and then it would come out at noon?
It did both. One day I set it to release at noon, and it released at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
The very next episode I set to release at 10, and it released at 10.
Yeah.
So it's extremely inconsistent. And, of course, arguing with someone who uses YouTube all the time would never believe me. So
Right.
it's just like, I don't know what Google has destroyed YouTube, but, you can talk about that all day long, and no one cares.
Right.
So it was 3 hours into uploading, which means it was only like 1/3. And I had to work that day, so I decided while it's uploading, I'll take this video and put it into the program and extract now the new audio,
Right.
because I turned it up in the video. Like, I fixed it in Audacity, but then when I put it in the video, I amplified the thing as a whole,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I can use that program to kind of give me an idea of how loud stuff is.
Right. Get your levels and stuff together.
Right. I know when something's a little too high because I use that software so much. So as that was working, I got into the folder, and I had all these saved files where I had started in Audacity, and because used too many plugins and
Right.
and so I had like 4 or 5 saved files. Then I had the original audio file that I extracted from the video, the original one where the audio was screwed up. Then I had the fixed one, which was a
Right.
WAV file, and then I had the MP3 file. Then I had the video where I had fixed everything, and that was being uploaded. So I'm like, well, so I don't click on the wrong thing. Let's eliminate all this. And where my mistake was I selected everything, and then I hit the delete button. Now, here's where it gets weird. Usually when I delete something off any of my computers, it goes to the recycle bin,
Right.
except this time. This time, everything was permanently, completely deleted off my computer. The video I spent an hour and a half working on, the pictures that took me hours to green out the background, the video that was uploading everything, it was all gone with the single touch
That's nuts.
of a delete. And I lost it. I just lost it with all the problems and all the bullshit. That episode was gone, and I just was not going to go back and redo it. I'm done. So I closed everything down, had a massive meltdown, packed up everything, put it up in my studio to never be opened again. And then I think that night, I didn't say anything to you guys. It took me a couple of days before I could talk about it.
Right.
I never, to this day, I still haven't put it on Facebook that episode will not air. And now it can't. It's gone.
It's gone, yeah.
The original is gone. The fixed version, it's all gone. So, like I said, I couldn't believe it. So, we had already recorded the last episode at that point. Now, that didn't end up gone. It was saved in a different folder. So, I fixed that, I think, days later. I fixed it I just put it in the program and adjusted the volumes and then uploaded it. So that's why you haven't seen anything, including the episode with Joe. But what I wanted to touch on was there's some things going on right now. Everyone has ups and downs in their lives, period. Right. And some of the people who do podcasting for a living, don't quite have, they have a building they can go to.
Right.
They go to this building and they talk about something, and then they turn everything off and they leave and they go back to their lives. This is different because we have to set this up every single time.
Every time.
And then I record the stuff, and then we tear it down, and then I pick a different day when I go through and I work on it. Then I pick a different day. Then I pick a different day and I upload it, and then I usually have to rewatch the episode so I can get all the bullet points and
Everything
what we talk about.
yeah.
And then it's a lot of work. It's work I don't mind doing, but when life starts to kick you in the teeth, my wife has some medical issues right now that is very serious. I had medical issues when we started this, but it's different when it's me. My medical issues were different because I wasn't working. I wasn't allowed to work, so I had all this free time.
Right. Well, the other thing too, when it's you, when you do something like this and you have the medical issue, your mind is distracted. You're not thinking of it, and it's kind of a relaxing thing.
You use the podcast as an escape.
Yeah.
But when
it's your wife, you're not escaping.
Yeah, you're not escaping. You're actually doing the opposite. You're not being strong, and you're not focusing on her. You're not helping her because now something else is taking your attention away.
Right.
If we had a building where everything was permanently set up, it would be completely different. I'm going to go for 2 hours, and then 2 hours you drive there, you turn everything on, you do the episode, you spend a little bit of time, you upload it, or you turn everything off and you leave, and then you go back to your life. It's like a job. But when it is in your life, it gets really complicated really quickly. And again, after the meltdown, and this was weeks after my wife had gotten out of the hospital, she's nowhere near any kind of resolution or closure with this. She's still smack dab in the middle of it, but at least she was allowed to get out of the hospital. So we did make some episodes because I just couldn't go there.
Right, you needed some time.
I needed to, I don't know, decompress or whatever. Plus, and then it is if I needed another reason, I also wasn't sleeping. This started before my wife got sick. So, this started, I think, last summer. And
it was when we were working overtime last summer.
Yeah, I think it was the tail end of the summer, but still, we were working overtime. And it's not like, I don't think it's stress related, because it's, when you're stressed out and you can actually shut your brain down, you will sleep.
Yes.
This was different. This was pure insomnia. I was tired, so I would go to bed, and I would usually fall asleep right away, but only sleep 20, 30 minutes. And then I would wake up and be 100% energized. But I also knew that I needed to sleep. So unlike some people, I never got out of bed. I would lay there and stare at the ceiling and daydream for 7, 8 hours.
Then get up and start.
Right, and get up and do. And then after like 2 days, yes, you heard me, like 2 days of this, sleeping 20 minutes, you do sleep a little more. You'll sleep an hour and then wake up. And then after 2 hours, you'll fall back asleep and sleep for 20 minutes. That was what was happening for months. Months. So I hear people say, well, if you don't sleep for months, you're going to be dead. That's true. Obviously, I was getting some sleep, but it's not proper sleep.
Right, it's not sleep.
So right around the time that this episode with Joe, and this was weeks after the wife, we got really bad news.
Yeah.
It's just, and I hadn't slept in months. I had no tolerance. When you're in sleep deprivation, even if you're sleeping a little bit, you have no tolerance. You have no patience. You're emotional. You're like out of control emotional. Like I am a 50-year-old guy, and I'm bawling my eyes out because an episode got deleted.
Right.
Most people don't do that.
Right.
Most people say they get mad, but they don't cry. So obviously I was in not a good state. Things are better for me at the moment, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I didn't know if I wanted to continue with this. Maybe this was just too much stress and I didn't need it. Or maybe I need to take a break. I just didn't know, and I was afraid to talk to you because I was afraid you would talk to me into continuing to do it. I needed to make a decision. So anyways.
I didn't do, by the way.
No, I didn't give him a chance. I didn't give him a chance to be
I mean,
a partner in some way.
Yeah, you need to do what's right for you. I mean, I told you that. I said, I can't make you do anything, and I don't want you to do something if it's going to be detrimental. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's kind of the opposite of what we want to do with this.
But I didn't give him the chance. I just kind of closed it up and gave myself some time. The one thing I am pretty good at is is saying, you know what, I can't make a decision today. I've actually been in my life pretty good at knowing I am not in a state right now to make a decision. So, and I think I learned that writing music, because you can I just need to put something with this. And then at some point you're like, you know what, it's not going to happen today. So don't stop on that song. And then someday it will just, you'll click and you'll say, ooh, this is it. So through that, I've learned when you're frustrated, especially frustration with me. I don't know how frustration works with you, but when I get frustrated, I shut down. The frustration keeps me from making good decisions. My decision and processing abilities end when I get frustrated. Right. So abandoning whatever you're working on, if possible, is the only real solution. So again, looking at the podcast as a whole, when you're in that emotional state, you start to analyze when you probably shouldn't.
Right.
One of the things that really upset me is that I've been doing this for 3 years now. And since the very first episode, I've been asking anybody who listens to this, who watches the videos, if you have any critiques, anything, if you think we talk too much, not enough, if you like what we talk about, if you don't like what we talk about, if you want us to talk about something else, if you like the room, anything that you think you could help us do better, even if it's like, I don't like what you guys talk about. Okay, fine. That doesn't mean I'm going to change it up for you, but I could use the feedback.
Right, yeah.
And I've been begging, literally, at this point, drop us a line. The email, ohiogripe@gmail. You can. There's a section on the homepage of our website that you can put comments in. Comment on Facebook. I don't think you can comment on. If you comment on Pandora and or Spotify, I may not get it. But the same thing goes with Rumble.
Rumble, yeah.
But instead of commenting there, we do check YouTube almost daily. Our email daily. We check, our website daily. If you guys can't give us 2 minutes of your time to type out what you like or dislike about us, even if you watched one episode and you have no interest in coming back,
tell us why.
Just tell us what you liked or what you didn't like, so we can at least get an idea. I don't plan on charging for this ever. I have no interest in making you pay for listening to us bullshit.
Right.
But it does come at a cost. It comes at a cost to me, my time, and I've been buying equipment. I bought this computer. I bought this to make it a little easier. So it's costing me money. I pay for the websites. I put in the time. All I'm asking in return, let me know what you think. I have one person in the 3 years that we've been doing this that actually said, you guys are doing great. He bought a T-shirt, and it just filled me with such oh my gosh, maybe someone actually wants to listen to this.
Yeah.
But all I'm asking is a little feedback so we can get better, because you can't fix a problem if you don't know what the problem is.
Right. And then, like I say, there's the other thing too, is you can leave feedback and it be negative and not be rude.
Yeah.
Anybody can be like, look, like the one woman said, stop talking about work. Okay, well, we get it.
Yeah, and we did, because it was good advice.
Yeah, and I say, but the biggest problem with that was, and the only reason we talked about work a lot, I don't know if we ever discussed it on the podcast, because it's just something all three of us have in common, that we do.
Yeah.
45 to 60 hours a week.
Plus, and I will say this is one thing I noticed when we first started, is when you finally get a platform to vent.
Yeah, you let it go.
It's human nature. You do
let
it.
Go.
Me and Adam vented, and then it was Ricky, and Ricky and I vented about Gojo, and then you and I vented about. So that's human nature. But here's the thing: I didn't worry about it, because I knew that once we vented, we would stop. Adam and I quit venting about our BS, and then Ricky and I only vented a couple minutes for both episodes, or 5 episodes that he was in. So I just let it vent. If someone doesn't want to listen to it, they can turn it off. They can fast forward it. But,
speaking of which, there's something we got to talk about Ricky, whenever you're done with your little spiel.
Okay, I'll do it quick then. But I just wanted to let you guys know, I have decided I'm not going to get rid of the gripe. I've got too much invested into it, but we do have to we're not going to be as consistent.
Right.
I know that will upset some people, and I know that the last time we were not consistent, that's when Adam stopped being on the show, and then I tried to do it solo. We pretty much didn't put out an episode for, I think, 8 months.
I don't think we're going to do that.
No, I don't think we're going to go that far. But my point is that if you just stick with us, whether it be Spotify, the audio, or YouTube, you will get notifications. We will continue to do this. It's just that right now,
With
Especially,
everything happening,
yeah,
it's
with everything
nuts.
going on. I am sleeping better. A good friend of mine named Johnson Hannes, I'm going to just throw your name out there. He did turn me on to melatonin gummies.
Yeah, that's what I was going to give you some of those too, and then I
Yeah.
got that other stuff I want you to try to see if you get more rest while you take it.
Yeah, but they are working. They help me stay asleep. So
See, the
I'm doing better now.
Yeah, the
And
melatonin I use is a chewable one,
Yes.
but it's very it worked. The problem is the one that I bought. Like I started doing research after I bought melatonin, but the milligram was way too high, so I just cut them in half. And
Yeah.
it still works.
That's another thing. I used to take melatonin back when it became real popular, back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But I think there were 1 milligram pills. You had to take like 50 of them.
Yeah,
And the problem was that I would take them and then get tired the next day.
yeah.
So I quit taking them. But then my buddy told me about these. He said, no, try these because I also can't sleep. And he said they work. And he's right. They'll kick in usually within an hour.
Yep.
And now that I've gone 8 months without real sleep, I just go to bed. I don't give a shit what time it is. Unless, of course, I have to work, and then I don't take them. But
Yes.
if I take one, obviously I want to go to sleep. And I go to bed right then and there, and I've been doing much, much better. I'm getting at least 6 hours of sleep. So that's good. Now, with the wife, we're working on that. Obviously,
Right. There's a lot going on there though.
Yeah.
Dude. That's not like just a small situation. There's so much to that. We
Yeah.
could spend 3 days talking about what you got to do and where you're going and what happened and
Right.
where you got to get to go. Yeah, that just
So-
trust me when I say it's a whole train of issues.
yeah, it's a train. It's a car after car. But we're working on that. We've got 2 hospitals involved, and we've got things going on. So there will be an ending to that at some point.
Right.
And because it's not my medical issue, I'm along for the ride. So,
Which
anyways,
sometimes makes it rougher on you.
yeah, it does, because you have to be strong, and I couldn't be strong when I wasn't sleeping.
Right.
I wasn't being the husband. I was being another problem for her. So, but I'm sleeping, so now I'm able to think, and I'm not even joking. I'm able to actually process thought now. Now that I've slept, I'm able to analyze and make decisions and shut my mouth and be there for her, when at that time, I couldn't. I
Right.
tried, but I failed. So, anyways, so as we get some of these problems ironed out, my goal is to be consistent.
Right. And I think that's probably a good idea. But like I say, there's just so much going on that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
There's no way it's things that you can kind of push off to the back burner. You just can't do it. So,
And at the end of the day, this is what has to get put on the back burner.
yeah.
It's not paying me anything. It's not, I can't even get you guys to give me feedback. So it's really bringing me nothing other than an hour of being able to vent about something.
Right.
And that's fine. I enjoy doing it.
I say, yeah, we usually laugh like idiots anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's a good place to, be silly.
Sure. So again, I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. And if you can please spend a couple of seconds and just say you suck or you're great or you're okay. Anything.
And if you say you suck, tell us why.
Well, yeah, give us some help. There was a gentleman who I thought it was kind of funny. He did comment on one of our videos. He claimed that he had a cylindrical long fruit, or was it a vegetable? I think cucumber's a vegetable, right?
I believe so.
It was stuck up his rectum, and that's all he said. So I gave him a link, because I assumed he was from Ohio. I gave him a link to all the hospitals in Ohio.
To get that removed.
Right, that he could go get that problem taken care of.
And depending on the depth, it's going to be a general surgeon. Or,
Yeah, it could be just an extraction or a slice, slice and take.
It could be just a proctologist. Yeah, we're not sure. We didn't know the depth. We didn't know exactly.
Milk and magnesia could take care of it.
You never know.
Or maybe a vacuum cleaner. But anyways, I took it seriously, and this is where you can go to get some help. And I appreciate his comment.
Thanks for letting us know.
I do. I appreciate that. So,
Hope we can help.
right. I hope I improved your day and you got rid of that obstruction.
Objects? Yes, that object.
Right. At least it was cylindrical.
That's true.
It wasn't a square. It's not like he shoved a radio up his rectum.
And it wasn't like a toilet paper tube with a hamster.
Well, yes, nothing alive. Well, wait a minute now. Cucumber is alive.
Well, it was already picked, so maybe it wasn't alive anymore.
That's true. It was unplacented. Anyways,
But anyway, so getting back to our buddy
yes.
Ricky. So did you notice that we cannot call him Shaggy anymore?
Yes, he finally got a haircut.
Haircut? That's not a haircut. That dude got in a fight with a freaking lawn.
I didn't. I just saw it was short.
Dude, listen, I don't know if you people know Shaggy, but he had this bushy hair out there, and it's as long as mine is now.
Yeah, he
It's
was
gone.
allergic to personal hygiene. Not hygiene. He was clean.
He just wasn't big on, combing
Shaving.
that mop out.
Yeah, he was all
Just
natural.
let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go back to last year and watch some of the episodes he was on, you'll see what I mean.
And his hair wasn't even big then.
He did have big hair.
No, it was not big in that video.
No, I meant before he cut it.
A couple of weeks ago, dude, I was like, God damn, dude. What the hell?
Well, when all you do is work and sleep.
Well, listen, that guy does work a lot.
Yeah, he does. He puts in some serious overtime.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's trying to pay some stuff off.
Yeah.
I know that he
That's the truth. If you... It is so much... Excuse you, I had to belch. It's so much easier to get into financial trouble
get out of it.
than it is to get out of it. It takes
Certainly is.
years to get out of financial trouble. But it is doable. You just have to knuckle down and do it.
And he's been doing really good. I mean, he's been going hard since last summer.
Got himself a new car. Newer to him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his kids, I'm sure, are living a better life.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure that, like, his outlook whenever he opens the mailbox is probably a little bit better than it was.
Yeah, because they took his taxes. I probably shouldn't say that, but...
Well...
Sorry.
But, like, the problem is, like I said, I mean, we've all... I don't think that if there's anybody out there that has never gotten into financial trouble, God bless you. You're superhuman. Because I know I'm not that guy.
I've been pretty lucky. I did file bankruptcy, but I did that on purpose because I wanted to start my own company.
Oh, well, see.
And I decided getting out from underneath my bills was a good way to cheat. But...
See, I thought about doing that, too.
I've been lucky. I've been working since I was 14.
See, so have I.
So I've always had an income.
My problem was there was a point in time where I wasn't able to work for a while, and
Sure.
I kind of just
Like I said,
foot.
I've been lucky. Now I did when we started this podcast, I was sick, and it took me months to get over it. But I had a job. I worked for Gojo, and I was making half my salary. So even then, I got lucky.
Yeah, you're getting by.
But
well, like I say, and then I know you're lucky. I mean, you got married and you stayed married, and like my first marriage did not work, and it was just a financial disaster when that ended.
Yeah,
but
I know I did get lucky there too.
Then the kids thing, like, and I don't know what people's thoughts are on this, but man, the way they treat the common person with a regular job to pay child support is absolutely ridiculous.
I wanted to talk to Adam about it. Adam got screwed. I'm not going to go into detail because he doesn't want to talk about it, but he got screwed so bad. I wanted to devote an episode to see if we can get. It's terrible. I can't
ridiculous.
tell you what happened to Adam, but he got 100% railroaded by, in my personal opinion, evil woman. Now, this is the mother of his children, so I'm sorry, but this woman and the things she did to him was downright evil.
Yep, and it's perfectly legal.
And the system said it's okay.
Yep,
it's okay to rape this man.
Well, listen, here I got one. It's the real quick one that I know happened to a guy that my ex used to work with. He got divorced, had to pay child support. I think he had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. May have been 3. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't relate to the story.
Right.
So they're divorced. Been divorced for, I don't know however long, 2 years, whatever it was. He was paying his child support, no big deal. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, he gets this thing, he has to go to court. He's like, okay, what's this about? And they're like, well, we're going to raise your child support. He's like, why? There's been no significant increase as far as inflation or whatever at the time. I'm not making more money. She's not making less money. Everything's the same. I don't understand.
Right.
Oh, well, she got remarried. And he's like, oh, so it's going to go down because there's more income. No. She got married to a guy that's on disability that doesn't work but has custody of his 3 kids that now live in the house with her. So you have to pay more money because your kids aren't living the lifestyle that they're accustomed to because she got married to a bum.
Yeah.
And he's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
And they nailed him for like another $150 a month per child because when she got married and brought that other guy's kids in her house, it took away from his kids.
This is real.
And
this happens. This happens all the time. And there's a lot of women. Now, I'm not bashing all women, but there are women out there who say, yeah, well, the woman has to do this. You don't understand. You don't get to live a little bit of a better life and completely destroy your
somebody
ex.
else, yes.
There is a balance there. And it gets absolutely abused. And there's a lot of lawyers. I'm sorry. There's a lot of like TV judges. I know. What's that one? The older one, the lady. Judge Judy. I know she talks about this because I've seen the interviews. And there's another one, a black lady. I don't know where she's from. I don't know her name, but they also talk about this, how absolutely horrid the system is.
Yep.
Like, anyways.
Well, I got a letter one time when I was married, before me and her got divorced from my ex that I had my kids with, and it said, "Hey, we're going to take another 15% a month from your check." And I called them like, "What in the fuck are you talking about?" The lady's like, "Well, you're in the rearages." I said, "I'm only in the rearages because we just recently separated. I was in the rearages because, everything that I would have given her in that time until you guys took over taking money out of it is considered a gift. So I'm a year and a half behind or whatever, a year behind, whatever the hell it was by the time they started taking it out." I said, "This chick gets an extra $100 a week out of my paycheck. She gets every one of my bonus checks. She gets my tax return every year. And now you're telling me you're going to take another 15%? What in the is going on?" I said, "I'm living on the bare minimum as it is." And she goes, "Oh, well, I didn't realize that you were paying all that extra. I'll go ahead and take that off so you don't have to do it." And I'm like,
"Why didn't you do your due diligence before?"
I'm like, "Right," and that's what I said. I said, "So you didn't look into this before you sent me this letter?" She goes, "Oh, it's just a general letter that goes out to everybody that's in the rearages." I said, "So if I wouldn't have called you to just rape me and take another 15%? She's like, "Yep." And I'm like, "You've got to be freaking kidding me."
This is why men stop working.
This is why men are like, "Screw this. I'm moving to Jamaica and I'm going to be a perma vacationer because you can't take my money from Jamaica."
Yeah, I mean, when you push people this far, I mean, obviously there's examples on both sides. There's the bums that just will not pay anything.
Well, the problem is they come after people like you and me and the guy
instead of the bums.
Instead of the guy that says he's self-employed and he's making $180,000 a year and he's only claiming he makes 20.
Yeah,
that's the guy that they need to go after because he's $30,000 in there, but they can't do shit, so they want to look like they're doing something and they come after us.
Yeah.
Same thing with
I can't prove that, but it makes sense.
But the same thing with court, like Matt, like. One of the little towns, I almost said the name, but one of the little towns here where we live, they're absolutely horrendous on traffic people. They're absolutely horrendous on DUIs. Any little tiny thing that you do, they come at you. But big, huge felonies that happen in this county, nothing. They don't care.
Yeah. Well,
because they can't prosecute those people. So it looks like they're doing something.
Not only that, but they make money off of traffic.
Right. So and that's exactly it. And they're railing these people that are the people that you shouldn't be messing with.
Yeah, so they can get raises.
Right, so that looks like they're doing something when it's time to get reelected. Well, we prosecuted this many people. Yeah, you prosecuted 1,800 people that stole, macaroni and cheese to feed their kids from freaking Walmart, dude. You didn't fucking prosecute people that are out there kicking the shit out of people, putting guns in people's faces. You didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
Your stats are so skewed. It's ridiculous.
It is.
But
the problem is
a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, the problem is that people really don't get involved enough in their local. They're too busy worried about a president, which matters. But I'm sorry, but your local government matters too.
Yeah,
they actually have more effect on your everyday life than the president.
But yeah, there's just so many little things that we could rant about forever. We could be here for 3 days, but
yeah, and I think we're like way over, but I don't know because the program keeps locking up. I'll have a bunch of videos of work to do this one.
We can do a bunch of little shorts in this one that was bitching about stuff.
Not a bad idea.
We could probably do that. We'd probably make an actual video and then we'd put it out for a podcast. Then we can make shorts of us just bitching about this.
I had thought that maybe one of the things I could do was start playing the full episodes on our website only. And then using there's a software out there that'll bust up your episode in the mini videos and putting those on social media as a way to advertise. Because that's another thing is we get no traffic coming to the website, which in a way has kind of helped me out because that's one thing I don't have to worry about updating if nobody sees it. But at the same time, it cost me $300 a year. I should probably put more effort into it.
Now, the more traffic you get, you're going to have to put more money into it to get better bandwidth and all that kind of stuff for it?
No. Matter of fact, the more traffic, the more I could look into advertising.
Okay.
Just putting banners at the bottom of it could help pay some of this stuff off.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we could do that. I mean, I don't care.
Anyways, the problem is it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
You have to get the software. I'm sure you have to pay for the software, and it's probably a subscription.
Right.
We're already paying for Buzzsprout, which I like, but it's an every month cost.
Right.
And they're handling all of our audio. So it's worth it, but it's a cost. So I have to pay GoDaddy for the web address and the domain. I have to pay Wix for the website. I have to pay Buzzsprout for the audio and taking care of all of that because they distribute it through all of those other ways to listen to it. And I'm sure there's another hidden cost that I can't remember, but
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it. It's just I just wish that I could get some feedback.
Well, I know we can get things going again here. Like I said, we're going to take things a little slower here just to get through this little hump. Because let's be honest.
If it doesn't straighten out by summer, I'll be dead.
Well, we're not going to hope for that.
Right. I'm just saying. I can only take so much. So if we don't get some of this shit in my life straightened out, then I'm going to end up driving into a wall or something.
Well, I think as far as the things that you got going on, you guys just need to get past the initial.
Well, the sleep was a big one.
Yeah.
Up until recently, that was.
Yeah, but I'm saying weird things with your wife.
Yeah.
Once you get past the initial, pardon my French, bullshit and red tape, I think you guys will be a lot less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're still going to be, listen, it's not going to be perfect because you still got things you got to handle and go through and whatnot. But I think that just that initial stress level will probably decrease tenfold. At least once you get, like I said, the red tape and getting everything set up that you guys got to do. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know because I went through it when I had the same issues. It's crazy. And you would never ever think, especially with something like that, when that type of medical thing happens, that the stress that you got to go through just to get things correct would be there. You think it would be so seamless and easy because they don't want you being stressed out, and they're like, oh, well, hey, guess what? Here's 10 million things to do. What?
Yeah.
But it's just insane. But at the same time, the biggest problem you got there, and again, this is me going on rant, that's lawyers suing this person and that person because they didn't do this or ask this question. So it makes everything in that particular field, the medical field, a pain in the ass.
Yeah, a lot of steps.
And it sucks. And everybody gets mad at the people that are doing it. And it's not the doctor's fault. It's not the surgeon's fault. It's not the hospital's fault. They have to cover their ass. They have to do it, or they're not going to be there. They're not going to make money. They're not. Just like whenever people are talking about Obamacare and all, I'm like, look, man, you got to pay a doctor. You can't just say, oh, we'll give you this for that. No, you can't do it.
Yeah, I know. I don't even want to get into that. That was such a mess.
Right, and I'm not.
Nothing
saying,
is free. Nothing.
Right,
just
absolutely.
get it through your head. If you're
Absolutely.
broke, I'm sorry, but nothing is free.
And absolutely, and I get it. Like some people are saying, it's absolutely ridiculous. We pay this kind of money for this.
Yeah,
kind
it
of
is.
pursuit. Absolutely.
Look at the automotive industry.
Yeah, but
in
at
the
same
70s,
time,
you could have bought a car for $3,000.
Yeah.
Now it's
$100,000 for a new truck.
Just,
it is
just about. Yeah.
If you buy a nice new 4x4 4-door truck, it's $100,000.
60 to 100. Yeah.
But like I say, I get it, and I agree that some of these things are way overpriced. But at the same time, you can't expect to get it for nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Just like when everybody was complaining they wanted the minimum raised to $15 an hour, and I'm like, look,
That's
I get
a problem.
it. I think that you're absolutely right. What they're paying for minimum wage right now is a little low, but you can't throw it right to $15.
Now they're talking 20.
Dude, it's going to throw the.
Do you
economy
really
on
want to
tail.
spend $15 for a Big Mac? Because that's what's going to happen if you raise the minimum wage to $20 an hour.
That quickly.
And a lot of them will go out of business. So even though you say, well, good, they deserve it. Like people say, Wendy's should go out of business. Okay, that's fine because I don't eat there. So, but when it's eliminated,
Yeah.
and when you're done with McDonald's, you don't like Burger King, and you can't eat Taco Bell anymore, and there's no Wendy's. My point is that how many of those fast food restaurants are you willing to lose?
Or even just regular restaurants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, God. COVID took out probably 50% of those.
How's Johnny McFucking Sheffy down the road going to be able to pay 25 employees $20 an hour to run a restaurant?
Yeah, he's not.
You're not going to be able to pay somebody $20 an hour to wash dishes?
No.
Are you kidding me? He's going to be standing there doing that shit himself, or he's going to pull his kid out of school to do it. Like they did in the 1800s. Instead of kids going to school, they stayed home and worked on the farm. It's going to be the same damn thing.
It is, and people don't believe that. People believe, oh, no, they'll just take, what are you talking about, McDonald's? So the CEO can take smaller paycheck.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Really, though?
That's not going to happen. They're just going to charge you more for everything.
But that's a whole nother topic. And unfortunately, I can rant on that for hours because I saw this coming back. When did that start? Like 2010, 2013?
Yeah, something like that.
That's when they were talking about it needs to go to 15, and then they won. And now you go to Instagram, and all these people complaining about how expensive fast food is.
Yeah.
Now, here's the only catch. I'm going to rave a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's the only catch. I have noticed that the people, every time I see a video of a young guy on social media complaining about the price of a Big Mac, the one thing I have noticed is that they're young. So they can say, hey, when you guys were debating about $15 an hour, I was just a little kid.
Right.
I have not seen someone my age complaining. I haven't seen an old guy, because
Right.
then I could say, you son of a bitch, I'm willing to bet you thought giving everybody $15 an hour to flip
a good
burgers
idea.
was a good idea. And now you're complaining because now you can't afford that very burger.
See, that's just it. And that's what I kept trying to tell people when they were doing it. I'm like, you don't really think that the company's going to make less money and pay people more, do you? They're just going to raise the prices so they make what they've been making.
Well, everything had to go up. If you raise minimum wage, now the lowest guy, the newest kid that you hired is making 15. You can't have the older guy who's been flipping burgers for 5 years.
Only
You have to
making
give
12.
Yeah, he has to get a raise too. So you raised everything. Everything, the supplies, the people who make, well, maybe not the people who make the burgers, that may be a different country, but well, seriously,
It might be. And it's not a McDonald's because it's all American burgers.
well, okay, fine. If that's true, then you have to pay more for those burgers. You have to pay more for the fries. Everything goes up. So all you've done is just raised everything. The guy's still just as broke. He's just making more of a number.
Right.
But now his rent went up. Now his gas goes. Everything. It's not that hard to understand how this works. I'm not a genius by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to realize that these companies and these CEOs are not going to take less money so you and your kids can make more. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's where the problem lies. They all think, well, then the company can just make less money and pay. No, they're going to make the same profits.
Yes.
And they're just going to charge
and they're
you
right
more.
because we have been paying the jump from whatever it was when they raised it to 15. Yeah. That's why the burgers went up. That's why every time I used to go to Burger King, because I like Burger King, and if you don't, I don't care. I used to go to Burger King for $7, 2 burgers and a drink, $7 out. Now it's 11.
Yep. Dude, you can't buy a whole meal there for less than $10.
No, you can't. And I'm not blaming everything on Biden.
Well, no, it's not.
A lot of this shit is us, the American people. Biden is a moron. Everyone knows that. Even people who voted for him know that.
I don't think he's a moron. I think he just doesn't.
I think he's got dyslexia.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, I think his brain works. I think he's got dyslexia.
And I mean, that's sad. Like,
Wait,
I think
not dyslexia.
He's senile.
I am the dumbass.
I think he's senile.
I know, but it's not dyslexia. what's the one?
Dementia.
Gosh.
Yeah, he's senile. It's a dementia is what they call it. Yes, being senile. But see, I don't know. Like,
and I was so proud of it. He's got dyslexia.
And you're like,
I know what I'm talking about.
Like, I don't think that makes you fall down the steps on an airplane, but whatever.
You can't spell steps, but you can still go up them.
Yes. Oh my God! But no, I don't think that he's a moron. I think I'm with you. I think he's got dementia.
I do think he's a moron because I've been following him for a while now.
They don't call him Sleepy Joe for nothing.
Right. Even when he was just a congressman, he was I kind of been tuned
He had
into
dementia
him.
Back then.
That's true. I've been tuned into him ever since he was vice president because a lot of people made fun of him, and I'm like, why? So I went back, and the shit that he did said when he was a congressman. It's just I thought that's the only way he could have gotten in a higher position was to be given it by like vice president. I can't believe the American people voted for him. I don't care. I mean,
listen, and the problem, it wasn't they were voting for him. They were voting against Trump.
That's true.
And that's the problem with Trump. He doesn't know when to shut the F up.
Yeah.
And he could have been.
He could have just sat back
and been like, look,
and let this guy talk, and he could have won.
And been like, okay, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do this.
Yeah,
instead.
I'm going to be a bully.
Instead of being right and running his mouth on Twitter and all that stuff. Listen, that's the problem with him. Listen, I don't think, and I'm not going to say all of his politics, but the majority of his general outlook on politics are okay. But he is a fucking piece of shit bully.
Yeah.
He really is.
I wouldn't go that far. He is a bully.
He's an asshole.
But I don't think that he's a POS.
Oh, yes, he is. He is. I don't care for the man at all whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the point where not only every liberal person in America hates you, but every liberal person in the world hates you, you're an asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could do better. But at the same time, we did a lot worse.
And that's what happened. That's why he lost his second election. He was such an asshole. He pissed so many people off. They're like, fuck this dude. Yeah. And that's what happened. He got fucked.
Well,
And he wonders why all these other people that are still liberal that hate him are coming after him for every little thing and trying to get him in trouble and not be able to run. Well, gee, I wonder, man.
yeah, but there's also a flip side to that coin. They're breaking the laws and they're ignoring the Constitution to
And
keep him from running, and
well,
that's not how the system works.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's why it's happening.
Yeah. Which is why I'm probably going to vote for him, because I don't really. I mean, you don't have a choice. You don't have independence anymore.
Oh,
So you
Jesus.
have either Biden or Trump.
Well, dude, when it was Trump and Hillary, I'm like, this
That's
is
not
the
even-
best we can fucking come up
Yeah.
with, guys. Jesus.
That is proof that Hillary needs to go away forever.
Can we just like put a box over
We
here and
put
write
Trump in
Ronald
office.
McDonald and check
Yeah,
that
Trump
box?
didn't run against Obama. Okay, Trump ran against Hillary, and that is proof that even Democrats don't. The only people who want Hillary as president was those stupid women screaming in the square when she lost. Everyone else is like, "There's no fucking way I'm putting that evil bitch in the fucking White House." I'll take the other guy,
Yeah.
the guy who holds women by their vaginas, apparently. But anyways, yeah, to me that was a no-brainer.
Right. And anybody that thought that she was going to win,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
just and the people who like all the celebrities, oh, she's gonna win. You know they went. There's no fucking way I'm putting that bitch in the fucking.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
She has a string of dead bodies behind her.
Well, yeah, we don't get into all that.
She makes Genghis Khan go, damn. But anyways,
It's like I said, well, all you have to say on that is, certain person got arrested for some dumb shit that knew some shit. He got put in a secure prison where nobody could get to him and ended up dead.
yeah, that's when he decided to throw in the towel.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know.
That dude had enough money; he could have got out of all of that crap. But yeah,
That's a good point.
And then all of a sudden, oh, dude, I can't deal with it anymore. No bullshit. Yeah,
Whatever. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Fuck it.
Anyway,
I know that she's not going to run again, and so that was a victory for America. But anyways, so
her
anyways.
husband, on the other hand,
Oh, Bill?
who did not have sexual relations with that woman, I
Oh,
just put my penis in.
But
her.
I did. Actually, I don't even care about that as much
I don't care about that.
because I think Kennedy did the same damn thing. I think what I cared about the most was, first off, he created the housing bubble with his Fair Housing Act.
Absolutely.
I knew that. My dad explained that to me when he did it, and I went, "Oh shit!"
Steal.
It took a long
steal-
time.
Yeah.
It took a long time for that to create the bubble and burst.
Yeah.
But I still blame that on
Yeah.
Clinton. I still blame that. It's Clinton. And of course, for those of you who are saying, "What about George Bush?" He didn't help it because he continued it.
Right.
So he also is responsible for the
Yes.
housing bubble.
He's responsible for not stopping it.
Yes, and then when they fucking left the White House and they were stealing all the old paintings off the walls, that is the most redneck thing you could ever do.
He's from AR, Kansas.
I-
He's the most redneck person you'll
I know.
ever meet.
I know, but still, when it actually happens, you're like, really? I never thought there was no part of both of them that said, we didn't buy that picture. We had nothing to do with that picture.
But we're taking it.
Fuck it. I mean, it's just like, you trailer trash. Anyways. All right,
I
we
don't
got
know
to
if
go
they're-
because we are way over.
Yeah. I'm not sure that they're actually trailer trash.
They act like it
I don't think they actually lived in I mean, they might have when they were younger. I don't know.
when they were kids, maybe.
Yeah.
Because she was a pretty successful lawyer.
And besides that, what's wrong with being trailer trash? I have a trailer.
No. Just because you have a trailer doesn't make you the trash. The two words are put together. Trailer trash is like
I'm pretty
the
trashy.
redneck version of super ghetto.
I'm pretty trashy.
Well, maybe you are trailer
I can
trash.
send you some videos to prove
That's
it.
okay. I don't want to see it.
All right, before we leave, I have to say one thing.
What's that?
Happy birthday, Toots. Love ya. It's my girlfriend's birthday. Her nickname is Toots, by the way. I don't know.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Toots. Happy birthday to you.
But no, listen, that's why we got to get the hell out of here, too, because it's going out for dinner with Tootsie.
All right. Well, enjoy your
Tonight.
dinner.
Shit,
I
believe
have
it or
all kinds.
not,
I have all kinds of work to do.
we're going to Big Bang Theory route for dinner. We're going to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, Cheesecake Factory.
It's like an hour away from where we live, but that's where
Yeah.
we're going. It's in Lyndhurst, I think, if I remember her
Yes.
conversation correctly.
Because there's one in Columbus-ish, and then there's one in Cleveland-ish.
And yeah, I think that's what we're going to.
That's a good one.
I don't know. I've never eaten there, so it'll be interesting.
I will tell you this. Sorry, I had an itch.
Go ahead.
The wife and I went there one time after a car show year before last, and it's really hard to find. Like,
is it?
Yeah, like you have to go past it to get. Like if you're
go past it and come back.
right, I think if you're getting there from the west, if you're going east to get there, you have to go past it to get into the plaza, and then you have to kind of work your way,
Weasel your way in.
Yeah, but you can see it, so it gives you hope. But it took us forever. We went through that place like 6 times trying to find the damn parking lot.
I think her one daughter has been there.
Oh, good.
I
That'll
think
help.
so. Hopefully that will help.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she's actually riding with us today or not.
Oh, well, then you're screwed.
So it might be a problem. It might not be.
Just
That
be
was up in the
patient.
air.
Just give yourself time because it was really hard to get into. Because, like I said, you can't just drive into the parking lot. It's part of one of those big like plaza places.
And you kind of get
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing that will help.
Or if you're coming from the east and you're going west to get there, it'll be on your right, and then you have to turn before you ever get to it.
Oh, that could be too. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, see, now I will tell you this: it should be easy once we find the right plaza for me to find it, because I'm a fat guy, and by the time we get there, I'm gonna be so damn hungry. I can probably sniff that joint out pretty easily. Fat guys are good at finding food.
Yes, they are. Yeah. And we're good at finding good food, and we're good at making food too.
Listen, dude, you should have had some of that stuff I smoked yesterday. Oh my
Whoa!
God.
I would word that differently.
Okay, you should have had some of the meat that I smoked yesterday.
That no better.
You need to put my meat in your mouth.
Whoa! Whoa!
All right, let me rephrase that. Patrick bought a new smoker, and I was making some meat yesterday on the old smoker while we were chit-chatting. And Mark, you missed out, my friend.
I did. Well, I didn't miss out. I just didn't have what you made.
You missed out. It was freaking amazing.
I made a bunch of baked goods.
You did make some baked goods. I made some meat. The sad part is I bought that smoker, and I think I put twice as much money worth of meat through it than I paid for the damn smoker, and I've only had it for 2 weeks.
That's the point. That's the point.
And I've only had it for 2 friggin'
I hope
weeks.
it lasts.
Well, listen, I bought it off MacBids for next to nothing, so
Yeah.
I can't really complain if it wears out in 1 year. I'll just have to save up $1,000 and buy a good one.
I always go for the cheap ones because I just figure even the expensive ones don't last.
Well,
so why spend the money?
There's no such thing as a cheap pellet smoker.
That's true. That's true.
And I could have bought it, the electric ones like we sell, and they're not too bad.
Yeah.
You can buy one of them for a few $100.
I know that Oklahoma Joe?
Smoking Joe's.
Smoking Joe. They have a propane and charcoal, which I use wood.
Yeah.
But you have to buy the charcoal. They have a combo that I'm eyeing, but at the same time,
I don't know, this thing here, dude.
I have an old charbroil that I need to get rid of. That's that same thing. It's
Yeah.
the double, and I'm like, it's rusted through, and you can't use it. But I'm like, how the hell am I going to get rid of this thing?
Well, this thing here is, like I said, it was one of the cheaper ones you could buy off Amazon, and I bought it on MacBids. If you don't know what MacBids is, check it out. It's absolutely crazy. They might not have them where you live, but they are awesome. For $80, I bought a friggin' pellet grill, dude. That's insane.
That's buying one used.
That's freaking insane, and it was brand new. And I will say, everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna hate that thing. You got to put that together." And I'm like, it can't be that freaking bad to put one of these things together.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I mean, it took time, but it wasn't like I was screaming and yelling and cussing somebody out. It just took time. There's a lot of pieces to it. Like, everybody's like, you're going to be freaking out. You're going to have to tear it apart, put it together, take this apart, put that. And I'm like, dude, it cannot be that bad.
Yeah.
It can't be that bad.
Yeah.
So I watched
If
the
you
video.
got a little bit of common sense, you can figure it out.
I watched the video on YouTube on the actual one that I bought, how to put it together. And guess
There
what?
you go.
It went right together. Like I say, it took me 45 minutes because, like I said, there's so many damn pieces to it. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like a simple thing, but it wasn't like as frustrating as everybody said it was going to be.
Right. That's good.
But it does make some good meat.
Apparently, the correction we did at this
Yeah,
one is
it's
lasting
working.
because
Well,
we
there you
went
go.
an hour and it hasn't locked up. So
Oh my God, we probably had 45. Wow, yeah, we're way over. We got to go, kids. We're probably at an hour and 45 minutes.
that's all right. Well, we haven't put on an episode, so this is like making up for it.
Well, I say, I think we were talking, you could put part of it out as an episode, then throw a bunch of little shorts of us griping. I mean, it is the gripe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what the
yeah,
hell?
That's our number one complaint when I talk to people. I don't want to listen to guys gripe. I said, well, then you don't like comedy because that's what comedians do is they go gripe for 2 hours. They make it funny.
Well, see, and I don't know. And that's what people say. What's your podcast about? I'm like, just 2 idiots talking.
Yeah, it's just 2 guys talking. And I like that. I like the freedom of it.
2 idiots talking.
It's just 2 guys talking. If you want to be a part of the conversation, come on to gripe.
Yeah. Also, just so you know, I got another guy that I met the other day that might be a fun guest. He was one of the supervisors for the traffic enforcement in Cleveland
Oh, yeah?
for like 15 years. He could probably have some good stories.
Yeah, you just got to pull the trigger and make it happen.
I'll have to talk to him. He's a riot, dude. I met him last night. He's a pretty good guy.
I'm trying to get Johnson on here, but that boy is working 16 hours a week, 7 days a week.
16 hours a week?
I'm sorry, 16 hours a day.
Oh, there you go. All right.
7 days a week. So he has no time to take a dump, not alone come on the gripe for an
Listen,
hour.
man. As long as he's at work, he can take a dump. You always take a dump on the
Yeah,
clock.
just stick your ass out the window as you're driving down the street.
Listen, you always take a shit when you're on the clock. Get paid to take a dump.
There's a hot tip.
That's right.
All right, peeps, we are going to go. Thanks for listening, and bear with us.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you
Please,
think.
please get a hold of us somehow. Please let us know. Your opinion matters, so let us know what it is.
If you just say that dude with the beard's ugly, we don't care.
We don't care. I can take rejection. It's my life.
Yeah, I already got a girlfriend, so if you don't like the way I like
Yeah.
it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You know how many times I got rejected before I met my wife? I lost count. I lost count.
At least twice.
Twice.
At least twice.
I'd be so much better than I am. All right. Hasta la taco,
Peace
peeps.
out, kids.